More than half a decade has passed since the Russo Brothers, with the orchestral might of Marvel Studios behind them, delivered a cinematic experience that was less a movie and more a global, collective exhalation. Avengers: Endgame was not merely the 22nd film in a sprawling franchise. It was the culmination of an unprecedented narrative experiment, a cultural touchstone that reverberated far beyond the confines of a darkened theater. To this day, its legacy endures, not just in the record books it shattered, but in the indelible mark it left on the hearts of millions. To dissect why Avengers: Endgame remains so profoundly beloved is to embark on an archaeological dig into the very soul of modern storytelling, to unearth the intricate layers of emotional investment, masterful narrative architecture, and the profound human need for catharsis and connection. This is not just a review. It is an exploration of why a film about superheroes in spandex became a mirror reflecting our own grief, hope, and the enduring power of a shared story. The weight of a decade, a culmination beyond sequel. To understand the singular power of Avengers: Endgame, one must first grasp the sheer, audacious scale of what preceded it. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, in its initial 3 phases, was a gamble of epic proportions. It was a serialized story told across 21 films, each a self-contained narrative, yet meticulously woven into a larger, intricate tapestry. This was not the episodic nature of a television series, but a grand cinematic symphony where individual movements contributed to a breathtaking whole. For over a decade, audiences had grown up alongside these characters. We witnessed Tony Stark's arrogant genius blossom into selfless heroism, Steve Rogers' unwavering moral compass navigate the murky waters of the 21st century, and Thor's brash godhood mature into a burden of leadership and loss. The love for Endgame is, therefore, intrinsically linked to the love for this journey. It wasn't just another sequel. It was the promised land, the final chapter of a book we had been reading for a significant portion of our lives. The very act of watching it was a shared experience, a global congregation of fans who had debated, theorized, and emotionally invested in this universe for years. The theater was not just a venue. It was a sanctuary, a space where the collective gasp at the snap in Infinity War was finally answered with a collective roar of triumph. This sense of a shared cultural moment, of being part of something larger than oneself, is a potent emotional amplifier that cannot be overstated. In an increasingly fractured and individualized world, the MCU, and particularly Endgame, offered a rare and precious sense of global community. A symphony of sorrow and hope, the emotional core. Beyond the spectacle and the grand narrative design, the enduring love for Avengers, Endgame resides in its profound and unflinching exploration of human emotion. The film opens not with a bang, but with a whimper, with the raw, palpable grief of a universe decimated. The 5-year time jump was a stroke of narrative genius, allowing the initial shock of Infinity War to fester into a deep, resonant sorrow. We see our heroes, these paragons of strength and resilience, utterly broken. Tony Stark has retreated into a fragile domestic bliss, a self-imposed exile from the world he failed to save. Captain America, ever the stoic soldier, is reduced to leading a support group for the bereaved, his unwavering optimism finally cracked. And Thor, the mighty god of thunder, has devolved into a shadow of his former self, a beer-bellied recluse haunted by his failure. This portrayal of grief, in all its messy, unglamorous reality, was a masterclass in emotional storytelling. It humanized these larger-than-life figures in a way that no amount of CGI-laden battles ever could. Audiences saw their own experiences of loss, of failure, of the quiet desperation that follows trauma, reflected on screen. The film provided a safe space to process these difficult emotions, to see our heroes grapple with the same existential dread that we all, at times, face. The psychological concept of parasocial relationships, where audiences form one-sided bonds with fictional characters, was amplified to an unprecedented degree. We didn't just feel for the Avengers. In a very real sense, we felt with them. The journey to reverse the snap, therefore, became more than just a plot device. It was a journey of healing, a desperate attempt to reclaim what was lost, not just for the characters, but for the audience as well. The time heist, while a thrilling and nostalgic trip down memory lane, was also a poignant exploration of second chances. Tony's encounter with his father, Steve's fleeting glimpse of Peggy Carter, and Thor's heart-wrenching conversation with his mother were not mere fan service. They were moments of profound emotional resonance that allowed these characters, and by extension the audience, to find a measure of peace and closure. The architecture of catharsis, masterful storytelling and pacing. The emotional power of Avengers. Endgame is not accidental. It is the result of a meticulously crafted narrative structure designed to elicit maximum cathartic release. The film's 3-hour runtime, a daunting prospect for many blockbusters, is utilized with remarkable efficiency. The first act is a slow, meditative exploration of grief, allowing the weight of the new reality to truly sink in. The second act, the time heist, is a clever and engaging interlude that masterfully balances high-stakes tension with moments of levity and nostalgia. It's a love letter to the entire MCU, a victory lap that reminds us of the journey we've all been on. But it is the third act, the final cataclysmic battle, that stands as one of the most awe-inspiring and emotionally satisfying sequences in cinematic history. The moment the portals open, and the full might of the restored heroes assembles to face Thanos and his army, is a masterstroke of cinematic payoff. The cheer that erupted in theaters around the world at Captain America's simple, long-awaited utterance, "Avengers, assemble," was not just for the spectacle on screen. It was a release of a decade's worth of anticipation, a triumphant roar against the despair that had lingered for a year. The battle itself is a symphony of perfectly choreographed action, with each character getting their moment to shine. But even amidst the chaos, the focus remains on the emotional stakes. The passing of Mjolnir to Captain America, Spider-Man's emotional reunion with Tony Stark, and Pepper Potts joining the fray in her rescue armor are all moments designed to elicit a powerful emotional response. They are the culmination of character arcs that have been building for years, a testament to the growth and evolution of these beloved heroes. The ultimate sacrifice, the endings of icons. A significant portion of Endgame's enduring power lies in the finality of its character arcs, particularly those of Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. In a genre often criticized for its revolving door of death and resurrection, Endgame dared to give its most iconic heroes definitive and emotionally resonant endings. Tony Stark's sacrifice is the tragic, yet perfect culmination of his journey. The genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, who began his arc as a self-obsessed narcissist, ultimately makes the ultimate selfless act, saving the universe at the cost of his own life. His final, whispered, "I am Iron Man," a direct callback to the line that launched the entire MCU, is a moment of breathtaking poignancy. It is the full-circle completion of a character who learned that his greatest invention was not a suit of armor, but his own capacity for love and sacrifice. His death is not a moment of defeat, but of ultimate triumph, a testament to the transformative power of heroism. The emotional weight of his funeral, with the entire MCU gathered to pay their respects, is a powerful and cathartic moment of collective grief for the audience. Steve Rogers' ending, in contrast, is a quiet and beautiful testament to a life well lived. After a lifetime of fighting, of putting the world's needs before his own, he is finally given the chance to have the life he always wanted. His decision to return to the past and live out his days with Peggy Carter is not a selfish act, but a well-deserved reward. It is a powerful statement about the importance of personal happiness, of finding peace after a life of turmoil. His final scene as an old man, passing the shield to Sam Wilson, is a poignant and hopeful moment, a symbol of a legacy passed on. The two endings, one of tragic sacrifice and one of quiet fulfillment, provide a perfect emotional balance, a sense of both loss and hope that resonates deeply with the human experience. The power of we, the fan community, and the enduring legacy. The love for Avengers. Endgame cannot be fully understood without acknowledging the vibrant and passionate fan community that grew alongside the MCU. For years, fans had dissected trailers, debated theories, and created a rich tapestry of art, fiction, and discussion around these characters. The film itself became a culmination of this collective engagement. The filmmakers were keenly aware of their audience, and the film is peppered with nods and references that reward the dedicated viewer. The on your left callback, the rat that saves the universe, and even the briefest of cameos are all part of a shared language between the creators and the fans. This sense of being in on it, of being part of a larger conversation, fostered an unprecedented level of emotional investment. The film was not just something to be passively consumed. It was an event to be actively participated in. The communal experience of watching Endgame in a packed theater, surrounded by fellow fans who understood the significance of every line and every gesture, was a truly unique and powerful phenomenon. The shared laughter, the collective gasps, and the unified sobs created a bond that transcended the screen. Even today, the love for Endgame is kept alive through this community. Fans continue to create, to discuss, and to revisit the film, finding new layers of meaning and emotional resonance with each viewing. The film's legacy is not just in its box office numbers, but in the enduring power of the stories it told and the community it fostered. A timeless echo in a changing world. Why do people still love Avengers? Endgame? Because it was more than just a movie. It was a cultural event, a shared experience that brought people together from all corners of the globe. It was a masterclass in long-form storytelling, a testament to the power of a well-crafted narrative to move and inspire. It was a deeply human story about grief, hope, and the enduring power of the human spirit, even when that spirit is housed within a superpowered demigod. In a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain, Endgame offers a powerful and reassuring message. That even in the face of overwhelming darkness, there is always hope. That even the most broken among us can find the strength to rise again. And that the bonds of family, both born and chosen, are the most powerful force in the universe. The echo of Tony Stark's final, defiant, "I am Iron Man," continues to reverberate, a reminder of the power of a single individual to make a difference. The image of an elderly Steve Rogers, content and at peace, reminds us that a life of service can also lead to a life of fulfillment. Avengers. Endgame is not just a film we watch. It is a film we feel, a story that has become a part of our own. And that is why, for years to come, audiences will continue to return to it, to relive the spectacle, to weep at the sacrifices, and to be reminded of the simple, yet profound, truth that even in the darkest of times, there will always be heroes. And sometimes those heroes are us.